On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing housing inventory, existing home sales, and Fannie Mae's economic and housing outlook. Yes, this is different from the last one. Today is Monday, June 24th, 2024. I am Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Good morning. Welcome to a new week here on the hot sheet. I am tuning in with you guys from Naples, Florida today. A little bit of travel this week. Popped in here to take a look at the new studio. Okay, new Florida studio. This is probably, I don't know, Bobby, would you say 70% of the way here? We got some tweaking. I know Bobby would like to put a higher number, but I'm going to go probably 70. We've got a lot of tweaking to do, but really looking forward to, after the summer, having the new Florida studio and delivering the level of BAM content that you have come to expect over and over again. So let me know which market you are tuning in from, and let's get into everything that we've got here today. The Fannie Mae projection that I'm going to share with you a little bit later on is updated from their last one. I'm really excited to share with you the changes on that. All right, as we do to kick off every single week, let's take a look at inventory. Inventory has been increasing, and we want it to continue to do that. It's going to help home buyers in this market more than ever. They need it now more than ever. Okay. It's also going to help stabilize pricing. Okay. I know that there are probably soon to be sellers that don't want to hear that. I would encourage you to get to the market, right? If I'm an agent dealing with a seller, I'd get them to the market now. You're going to have more luck now than you might in 6 months in the middle of winter. That's true on almost any given year, but I think now more than ever. All right, last week we experienced an uptick of 13,500 plus homes coming to the market. That puts us almost not only 38% more than last year, but almost more than at this point in 2020. Now, obviously, 2020, come the second half of the year, was on a nosedive down, but it's still notable. Okay, at this point, we're higher than at any point we've been in 2021, 2022, and 2023. And as we've been starving for market forever, each check mark that we can put, each feather in the cap that we can put into this inventory case, the better. Now, we'll still be a ways off from where we were in 2018 at 932,000, 2019 at 976,000, or 2017 at 282,000 at this time point. We're over 300,000 away from that, but crossing over 2020 is notable. And we're probably going to do that in the next couple of weeks as 2020 continued to decline. It went from 676 same week in 2020 down to 666 and then down to 654. I could imagine we'd be at 654 in 2 weeks time frame. We will have officially crossed over 2020. But year over year, 38% more. That's the big number that we should be focused on. That's the big number that sellers need to be educated on. We're 38% more inventory year over year right now than at this time last year. New listing data is helping. It's not driving it. More days on market, I would say, is driving this active inventory increase. We had 71,000 new listings last week. That's compared to 62,000 for the same week in 23, which we saw an all-time low for that year, and 83,000 in 22 when rates started to go up. So we're not still not anywhere near 22 levels during this time period, but we're again above 23. Just kind of been floating around the middle there for quite a few weeks as we look backwards. Price cut. In a normal market, you see about a third of homes cut their price before actually selling. Well, right now we're experiencing 30. This is according to Altos Research. 37% of homes, 30% of properties with recent price reductions. Okay, that's well above last year's level of 32% and 2022's level of 29%. Now, 2022 got up to 43% in November as those rates really started to shock the market. You started to see the sellers who were on the market show some concern. Did I go too high in the price? I need to drop this and move before the market potentially has a negative impact. Pending sales, total pending home sales, annualized, uh, or I'm sorry, total home sales currently pending, I should say, 396,000 right now. For the same week last year, we were at 385,000, but in 22 we were at 450,000. So we've got 38% more inventory than we did last year. Yet we only have about 10,000 more homes pending. Okay, that 38% on homes available on the market compared to last year is about a 200,000 active home difference. And we've only brought 10,000 more pending home sales to the table. Okay, that shows you the hesitancy in the market. That shows you the pause that buyers have. They're going to have that pause not only in their search, but in their due diligence process as well. We need to respect that as agents, see people where they're at, and make sure we're giving them the proper education. It's more in line with where sellers are thinking. Okay, if you're going to list a home in a month, 2 months, and we're preparing your home for market, understand what waiting might do. Understand what implications you might have by waiting on the market in a market like this. Existing home sales, going back to that number, those were Altos research, but going to the NAR number, which came out on Friday, they edged even lower. They went down 0.7% in May, while median sale price reached a record high of 419,300. So I don't love looking at median sale price and current pending sales side by side, because median sale price is a lagging number. Okay, median sale price of 419,300 in May, year over year, up 5.8%, is reflective of where buyers were in their journey in February, in March. For those sales to be recorded in May, they were oftentimes looking in Q4 of last year. They were January buyers. They were February and maybe as late as March. Okay, they're not reflective of the buyer today. The buyer today is pausing more. The buyer today has pushed months of inventory up from 3.1 last May to 3.7 months today. That's the buyer pushing those numbers up. That's not, only the fact that more homes have come on market. That's the buyer saying, we're going to continue to wait. We're going to continue to be a little bit more patient than we have been in the past. 3.7 months of inventory. 4.11 million seasonally adjusted annual rate for existing home sales. That's in line with last year. That's a very low number. That's a floor number. That's as low as anything we've seen in the last 25 years. Month over month down 0.7%. Year over year down 2.8% on existing home sales. While inventory is going up, the home sales, existing home sales, the pendings, both now going down. Shows us in the data. Even in some of these markets where you're really low on inventory, you're hearing agents say, hey, there is a little bit more hesitancy. That there's a process that is slowing and normalizing for a lot of buyers. Okay, Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for NAR, says eventually more inventory will help boost home sales. But Lawrence, we haven't seen that. We've seen more inventory, and it's not boosting home sales. Okay, we've got 200,000 more. Sometimes, NAR, you've just got to call it how it is. Okay. I know chief economist Lawrence Yun makes a lot of money, $800,000 a year to put out these pretty little looking quotes every single month. But sometimes a little reality check is good for everybody. Okay. Eventually more inventory will help boost home sales. We have 200,000 more homes actively on the market right now than we did last year, yet we only have 10,000 more pending sales. Okay. If I change his comment, eventually a lower interest rate will boost home sales. Okay, that might be the obvious statement you were looking for when you were looking through the script book. Okay, he goes on to say increased housing supply spells good news for consumers who want to see more properties before making purchasing decisions. Right now, there are a lot of people who are a buyer lead at an open house or online. Okay. And these are people interested in the market, but they're interested in learning more about it because they also have a home to sell. These are the consumers that I think need the most education. Okay. Right now, when you have this hesitation from the buy side, is that a more attractive market to be shopping in than waiting for the rates? Because I bet there's a bunch of people a bit like you that are also waiting for the rates to come down. And if that's the case, what might happen when those rates do come down? Do you think there's people just like you that are going to rush to the market? These are conversations that I think are really important to share with those consumers who are just like everybody else thinking about waiting. I think there's an advantage to be going out to the market uh, right now and at least being in the game and in the process. Okay. Lance put out a tweet on Fannie Mae's revised forecast. We're going to go over this in detail, but first, I love what he does. He breaks down the difference between the previous projection, which we just went over in the last few weeks here on the hot sheet. The previous projection for quarter three was 7.1. Fannie Mae's dropped it more than a quarter of a point now to 6.8% on the 30-year fixed mortgage to average 6.8 in quarter three. 6.8 in quarter three, 6.7 in quarter four, where they were previously at 7%. They went down a tenth of a point previously from 6.9 to 6.8 to 6.7 to 6.6 in 2025. Well, they still have it going down a tenth of a point, but from 6.7 in quarter four of 24 to 6.6, 6.5, 6.3, 6.4, and then 6.3 to end the year in 2025. These are much more interesting numbers for a market that's rate sensitive like real estate. But it's still 6.3 by the end of 2025. 6.3 at the end of 2025 is still not 5. Okay. That's the end of 2025. Remember, this year was supposed to be the year of the fives. Be careful on projecting out forward with your consumers, extreme confidence in where these rates are going. I would just point towards Fannie Mae's inability to peg it. Within 30 days, they've changed now from, they've changed over a quarter of a point for the end of 2024 and the end of 2025. Their previous projections were a quarter of a point plus higher than they are today. So where are rates going? Hey, even Fannie Mae can't figure it out, as within the last 30 days, they've changed it a quarter of a point. But right now, the sentiment from the analysts at Fannie Mae and others is that we'll remain in the high sixes throughout this year, and we're going to gradually get to the mid sixes or somewhere thereabouts going into next year. Now, you and I both know that it's unpredictable and anything could happen between now and November, and certainly after November. With what decisions the Fed makes, the labor market is going to have a huge impact on what the decisions they make. If the labor market breaks, the Fed will start cutting faster. That'll have an impact on the 30-year fix. But what we know now is that there's less competition for these homes. And I bet there's a whole bunch of people waiting for rates, and it will create more competition in the future. Okay. Going back here to Fannie Mae's projections, their updated projections here for total housing starts coming at 1.369 million for quarter three, 1.376 million for quarter four. Single family, just over 1 million for quarter three, just over 1 million for quarter four. They have those numbers going up in both cases in 2025 for every quarter for total housing starts and single family. Total home sales, okay, that would include new and existing total home sales. They have going up in quarter three, up in quarter four, up every single quarter in 2025. Looking at existing, because we're down to 4.1 right now, they have us at 4.1 annualized for quarter three for existing home sales. We just looked at the NAR number. So quarter three, no movement there. Okay. But in quarter four, they do have us up to 4.28 million. And then for the 2025 quarters, we're looking at 4.4 to start the year, Quarter two, we're looking at almost 4.5 million on existing home sales, over 4.5 million in quarter three, and 4.65 million in quarter four. So Fannie Mae believes that as this rate slowly trickles down over the next 6 quarters, we're going to see existing home sales go up, I'd say considerably versus the amount that they have the rate coming down. This is great news because remember, there are projections out there like Goldman Sachs that believes we'll be damn near 4 million for the next year and a half. Fannie Mae's on the other side of that. They believe that existing home sales are going to be going up each quarter here over the next six. I think for those of us in real estate sales, we're all looking forward to that being the case. Okay, looking at the 10-year here, it's kind of where it's been hanging around here the last 5 days. 4.257 on the 10-year. We ended last week on the 30-year fixed right at about 7 at 7.01. Kind of hung out there all week long last week. Of course, we had the holiday there on Wednesday. Really never got out of the low sevens, although the Freddie Mac 30-year fixed weekly came in at 6.87. Okay, we'll be hopeful to see that come back down into the high sixes and start that trend that Fannie Mae is projecting in the third quarter of staying in the high sixes. I think we'd all love to see that. I hope to see you maybe this week in Dallas, as I'll be heading there tonight to attend the 1,000-watt Branding and Marketing Summit. 1,000-watt Branding and Marketing Summit. There may be, I don't know for sure, so don't shoot the messenger if you try to sign up and there's no tickets left if they're sold out. There may be a few left. We can link that up. The 1,000-watt Branding and Marketing Summit. If you're interested, it kicks off tomorrow. If you're in the area in Dallas, I'll have the opportunity to speak at that on Wednesday. Myself and our producer, Bobby, is going to be there, as well as Eric, the broke agent. Love to see you there. And I would love to see you in BAMX. It is the community in real estate for agents of change. Those of us that believe we can have the biggest impact on this industry and market moving forward. Right now, you can get into BAMX using code HOT to get a discount off of that. BAMX members also get discounts on things like BAM Mania at 25% off of our early bird pricing, which is that event is coming up in October. Jump into BAMX every single Friday. You get content done for you. All of the Hot Sheet show notes every single day, as well as the slides related to that. Hope to see you in the community there. All right, until tomorrow when I'm in Dallas for the Hot Sheet, of course, have a great day and toodaloo.